Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of Ask Me Anything. I'm coming to you from my hometown of Melbourne, Florida, here on the beautiful Indian River. And I got an email from Amy last week. She didn't say how long she's in the business, but her email basically stated she's prospecting, had several meetings with a high net worth prospect. She didn't tell me how much the person had. It was a referral from another client, which we know is always very good. And her question was, they've had several meetings, but they just can't seem to get the yes. They haven't gotten a no, but they haven't gotten a yes. It's that proverbial, let me think about it, I'll get back to you, give me some time, so on and so forth. So I thought this was a great subject matter for this episode. So Amy, a couple things real quick. And I'll send you a link to this. You'll get to hear this directly. I think the first thing is, remember, there are a couple of boxes that need to be checked with absolute clarity to get somebody what I call over that decision-making hump. Okay, so high net worth, I'm going to work on the premise that they have a current advisor. So when you have a situation when you are where there's an incumbent, the first order of business is, has that person or has that couple made a decision they have to leave their current advisor? In other words, do they have to make a change, right? Because if they have not come to that point, then you have not hit the first threshold. See, I think a lot of times what the advisor, and I see it all the time, by the way, is we think that, okay, well, you have somebody, and you may ask some cursory questions and things like that, but then you want to get onto your dog and pony show, right? Here's how we do things, our client service model, here's our planning process, here, with the belief that we're going to outweigh, like we're going to somehow have so much great stuff, it's going to be so utopian, right? That you're just going to, the person's going to just automatically say, you know what, I like what you got, I'm going to get rid of that person, right? Rarely does that work. So the first order of business is you need to professionally probe their current relationship. Things like these are my one-on-ones, by the way. I'm curious, how long have you been at XYZ firm? Follow-up question, have you been with the same advisor that entire time? Great. Next question, I'm curious, how did you end up over there? Did you go to a seminar? Did somebody come into work and do rollover workshop? Do your kids play Little League or soccer together? Is it your neighbor? Like, you need to know how people ended up where they ended up, okay? Next question. What do you like that they really do well for you? So, hey, what are you really happy about, right? And you'll get sometimes a list. Sometimes you'll go, well, they do nothing well, that's why I'm here. Fine. Whatever they say, we take, right? And then also, when I'm doing all this, I'm going to ask one more question. What do you wish they can do a better job at? So if you had a wish list to give them, what's missing, right? And what I'm really doing there is bringing them conscious so they understand, I'm asking them to do a review in their mind of their current situation. Now, if they're in front of me, my belief is that they're not happy, or they're at least curious or interested in change. Now, maybe not committed yet, but they're curious and interested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I understand their background. It is very, very important. All right? And how they answer that question, what could be better? What do you wish for? I'm going to really, whatever they give me, well, I wish we hear from them more often. Well, tell me why that's important to you. We'd like to meet more often. Okay? How in your mind would it be ideal? How many times, right? And then B, tell me why that's important to you. I need to understand their value construct, right? I'm going to do that. And after everything's all said and done, I'm going to then ask a question. I'm going to say, based upon what you told me and your answers, have you come to the conclusion that you need a new advisor? Whether it's me or not, that we're not there yet, but have you come to the conclusion that the person that's serving you right now is not the person that needs to be serving you in the future? Have you come to that conclusion? Because the reality is this. If they haven't come to that conclusion yet, it's probably going to be highly unlikely that you're going to be able to sit there and create enough pain or enough excitement to move them. So there's, in essence, two sales here. Sale one, sale of change. Am I ready to make a change? Are they committed to it, whether it's you or not? Then, if the answer is yes, then it becomes, okay, now am I the right person for you? So remember that, Amy. You don't, if you haven't done that, you need to go back and almost start the process over again. You need to remember there's the fire and the hire process, right? Are you ready to fire who you've got, irrespective of whether I'm the right person? That's another conversation. And then let's talk about us working together. I hope that helps you. I hope for a lot of you that are listening and watching on my various channels, these questions are very important. And what's interesting is a lot of advisors are afraid to ask those questions because they're like, well, I don't want to bring up negative stuff. No, you need to bring up the negative stuff, right? You need to talk about that. You need to talk about their history, their background. It's for 25 years, I found it fascinating how many advisors just plow right into their process and they have no background. You know what they have? How much money you have, where is it, how's it invested, maybe what you're paying in fees, and you think like, I'm gonna get all the technical information and that's gonna make it happen. Sometimes it does, most times it doesn't. So Amy, go back. Ask those questions, and going forward, whenever you're in a situation where you have an incumbent advisor, first order of business after we build rapport, tell me about yourselves, tell me about your current relationship. And we're not going to tear anybody. And here's the thing, real quick. We're not going to throw anybody under the bus. What were my follow-up questions? Tell me why that's important to you. I didn't say, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing that. That's so unprofessional. We would never do. We're not doing that. We're going to have follow-up questions. We're going to let the person, by asking questions, they answer questions, they hear their own words, they convince themselves. We are just a guide. Amy, thanks for the question. For everybody else, keep those questions coming. I'd love to add value to you. Have a super day.